Hi everyone, my name is Zoha and welcome to Zoha Crochets. Today I will be teaching you how to crochet a heart. So this tutorial is 100% beginner friendly and is made for people who don't have any idea how to crochet. So if you already know how to crochet and just want to learn how to make a heart, then I would suggest that you find a written pattern because this one is very in depth and is going to teach you all the steps on how to make a heart, including how to crochet it itself. Let's start with the magic ring. So to make a magic ring, you're going to start with these two fingers, your pointer and your middle finger. So you want to loop the yarn around it one time and then loop it around again, creating kind of like an X over here. So after that, you want to kind of secure it in with your ring finger, and then you want to grab your crochet hook. So to crochet, you're obviously gonna need a crochet hook, and you're also gonna need some yarn, and in the end, you are going to need scissors. Right now, I don't have scissors, but I will grab it once I'm done. So after making this X over here and making the two loops over here, we're gonna grab the crochet hook. So we're going to point the crochet hook up and kind of slide it underneath this first loop. In context, the first loop is the one nearest to my pointer finger, to my fingertips. So after pulling it through the first loop, we want to point it down, kind of push the hook down a bit, and just pull it through this, making that happen. Next, we want to, after getting it past your finger, I want you to pull it down and then use your finger to kind of let me show you, kind of pinch both this yarn and this together and then slide it off your fingers. Next, after that, I want you to grab the yarn that is connected to the ball of yarn and kind of hold it. So how I hold my yarn is that I just grab it with my pinky, ring, and middle finger like this, and then kind of put it around my index finger. But that's not how most people do it. Most people actually wrap it around their pinky like this, and wrap it around their index finger like this, creating tension so that the yarn comes out slower. But obviously you can hold your yarn any way you want, and this video is not really gonna talk 100% about how to hold your yarn. So yeah, I always hold it like this, so that's how I'm gonna be holding it for this video. So you can now I want you to hold this loop so that it doesn't fall apart, and kind of hold it with the hand that is holding the crochet hook like this. Next, I want you to pull the yarn so that's more tight around the crochet hook. Next, I want you to pinch it again with the hand that is not holding the crochet hook so that you can start crocheting. There's two ways to hold a crochet hook. Like this, which is called the knife hold, which is basically how you'd hold a knife, while cutting. Or the pencil hold, which is how you'd hold a pencil. Now both ways are fine. It's just I usually use the knife hold like this, but you can do it either way. Next, I'm going to be teaching you how to chain. So to chain, you want your hook to point up first. So right now it's pointing up towards the ceiling. Next, I want you to slide it underneath the yarn, not over, underneath. Next, I want you to point your hook down, but when you're pointing it down, I want you to point it down by looping it towards yourself like this. Not like this, or else the yarn's gonna fall. I want you to point it up, bring it underneath the yarn, and point it down, moving towards yourself. Now once it's pointed down, you're gonna pull it through the loop of yarn that was on your crochet hook previously. Now we're going to do that again. Hook points up underneath the yarn. Hook points down, kind of looping down towards you. Pull through the loop. And now let's repeat that. Hook point up, underneath the yarn, point down, like kind of towards you, like this, and then pull through the loop. And now one more time, hook points up, underneath the yarn, point down, through. Now you can see that there's four kind of like these V-shaped things. Now yours doesn't need to look exactly like mine because I've been crocheting for quite some time and I've kind of like mastered like how to make them like perfect length. But if you're because you're a beginner, I will not say that it needs to look 100% perfect. Now, let's teach you how to make the treble crochet. So to start, we're going to make 2 treble crochets. So, to make a treble crochet, you point the hook up. Now, after pointing the hook up, you want to put it underneath the yarn and kind of point it down like how you did that on the chain. But now I want you to put it underneath the yarn again and point it up again. So underneath the yarn again while it's pointed up again. Now there should be 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Next, I want you to, while pointing it up, kind of insert it into the loop. Now, when you're crocheting in a chain, I will recommend you to put it inside one of the V's. But since we're crocheting a heart, you just need to put it inside this big loop that we just made. Remember, you're still pinching it over here with the hand that's holding the yarn. So, once you do that, I want you to point the hook up, put it underneath the yarn, point it down like moving towards yourself, and pull through. Now point it up, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your hook. Next, we're going to put it underneath the yarn again, point it down, and pull through 2 of the loops. We're going to point it up again, underneath the yarn, point it down, through 2 of the loops. And we're going to repeat that one more time. Hook up, underneath the yarn, point down, through 2 of the loops. Congratulations, that was your first treble crochet. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Well, actually, not 2, one more time. Okay, so we're going to point the hook up, underneath the yarn, point down, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, through the loop, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, pull it out of the loop, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, through 2 loops, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, through 2 loops, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, not like that, point down like this, through 2 loops. Now you can see we have this chain over here, and then we have 2 treble crochets. Next, we're going to do our double crochets. So now we're going to do 3 double crochets. So we're going to start by pointing the hook up like we did in the treble crochet. Next, we're going to put it underneath the yarn, point down, through the loop, point up, underneath the yarn, point down, through the loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. If you still have 2, then go along and do that one more time because you don't have enough loops on your hook. Next, point it up, underneath the yarn. Now don't put it through the loop again. Now I want you to pull it down over here and kind of put it through 2 loops. Point it up, underneath the yarn, down, through 2 loops. Like the treble crochet, except you put it like this and do this and point it down one less time. Now we're going to repeat that 2 more times, making 3 double crochets. So 1, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop again, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops on your hook, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops again, which were on your hook. Next, we're gonna kind of, I usually tighten it by pushing it down and then pull this. Next, it should look somewhat like this. Don't worry if it isn't perfect. Nobody starts out perfect. You have to practice. Next, you want to chain 3. So, like the chain 4 we did at the start, in which one of the chains was part of the magic circle, we're going to do that. Hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop. Hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop. Hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop. Okay, so you can kind of see how this heart is forming. Now, it's not going to be like one of those like 3D hearts, because in my opinion, beginners shouldn't start with that, because they should learn all the stitches first. So I'm making this 2D heart. Now we're going to do 3 more double crochets. So we're going to point the hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through this big loop in the middle over here, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through that loop, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops that were on your hook, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops. Now, I think you heard me say that enough times already, and you already did those 3 double crochets over here. So if you still don't remember how to do a double crochet, then I would like you to rewind the video so that you know again. And then you want to do 2 more double crochets. So I will come back to you when it is all done. So now that you're done, I want you to hold your hook again, hold your yarn again, and hold like how you were before. And now we're gonna finish it up. Now we're gonna do 3 treble crochets. So you might have forgotten at the start, so I'm gonna do these 3 treble crochets. Try saying 3 treble crochets 5 times in a row. 3 treble. It's a tongue twister already. So now we're gonna do 3 treble crochets again. Well, at the start we did 2 treble crochets, but this chain actually counts as a treble crochet because we chained 4. That's including the one chain we did during the magic circle. So now let's do it. Hook points up, underneath the yarn, hook points down, through the loop, hook points up, underneath the yarn, hook points down, through that loop, hook points up, underneath the yarn, hook points down, through 2 loops, hook points up, underneath the yarn, hook points down, through 2 loops again. No, wait. Seriously? Sorry guys, my brain just malfunctioned, but this is a good time to teach you how to frog. So, to frog, we're going to take the hook out of this. Most tutorials won't teach you how to frog, but since I made a mistake, I'm going to teach you how to frog. So to frog, you're going to take the yarn that's connected to the ball, not this yarn that isn't connected to anything. This yarn that is connected. So we want to pull it. So like this. Now you notice the loop's getting smaller. And you might be like, oh no, what's wrong with it? And it's just undoing itself. See? Now we're pull it really slowly so you don't accidentally undo the other stitches. So until now, if you're really good at this, like as a beginner, then you might have already like pulled it through. But what I suggest, if you're a beginner, then I want you to put your hook in here so that you kind of don't, in this loop over here that isn't connected to this over here, so that you don't lose track. And now you can pull however fast you want. Like, okay, it's done. So yeah, so we're back to 3 double crochets after this hole over here. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to teach you how to actually do a treble crochet because I accidentally taught you how to do another double crochet. So point the hook up underneath the yarn, hook down, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through this loop in here, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through this loop, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops, hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through 2 loops. Now we just did another treble crochet. Now I'm gonna do these other 2 treble crochets off camera because I already taught you how to do 3 treble crochets. So now if you have any more trouble, then I want you to rewind the video to after that frog part, after I showed you how to frog back then, and that will hopefully help. Now I'm gonna start finishing the 2 other treble crochets off camera. Okay, so now hopefully you finished the 2 other treble crochets, and now I'm going to teach you how to do a slip stitch. So to do a slip stitch, we're not going to do any of these like underneath the yarn stuff. What we're going to do, we're going to point the hook up, and we're already going to put it through this loop down here. Hook up, underneath the yarn, hook down, through the loop. Now I'm pretty sure I said at this before we did the slip stitch, no underneath that yarn. We are gonna do it over here though. But instead of when we go through this loop down over here, instead of doing it another time and go through 2 loops, we're just gonna take this loop, point your hook down, and just take that loop and put it through. Now I want you to make a nice and large loop over here so that we don't lose track of it. Now I want you to grab this yarn that we started with. When we started with it, it was part of the it was like the other part of the magic circle. Now this is what's going to close this big hole in the middle. So let's pull it. We're going to pull it as hard as we can until it's closed. Now I'm going to pull it like really hard so that there's absolutely no hole. So yeah. Now you can see the little heart. Now I am going to quickly grab some scissors. I will be right back. Okay, I just grabbed them. So don't mind how large my scissors are, cause like these are the only ones I could find usually. I just use my yarn snippers because they're nice and small and easy to use, but I can't find them. So what we're going to do is that we're going to grab our heart. Now this yarn that's connected to the ball, we're going to snip that. Grab the scissors, snip. Now this is our heart. We're going to grab our crochet hook and we're going to put it through this ginormous loop we made. We're going to pull it even more. And don't mind that this loop's getting shorter. That's the point. You pull it, and now, see, this is how it looks. This is how your crochet heart is should end up looking like. See this cute little thing. So this is your goal. It's not always gonna look perfect, but hopefully it looks nice. Now, I'll see you next time. Bye.